Now, could the sea beast, the papal system, traditional Christianity, and the United States of America ever work together? Yeah, they could. Even their architecture is similar. Capitol and the Vatican, and if you look down on the Capitol, you'll find that it's laid out in the same pattern as the St. Peter's Square. It's just an expanded version of it. Now, but here's more important. 1992 Time magazine. This was one of the great secret alliances of all time. Reagan and the Pope agreed to undertake a clandestine campaign to hasten the dissolution of the communist empire. Step by reluctant step, the Soviets and the communist government of Poland bowed to the moral, economic, and political pressure imposed by the Pope and the President. So the Soviet Union was in trouble, and John Paul II and Ronald Reagan decided they were going to just give it a little nudge over the edge. And so what do? They both support the Solidarity movement, which is the trade unions in Poland. And Ronald Reagan throws in his wild card. The Soviet Union made a bad mistake. They invaded Afghanistan. And Ronald Reagan decided through covert means to arm the resistance in Afghanistan. In the process, the United States government was arming a guy by the name of Osama bin Laden to fight against the Soviets. Boy, that was going to come back and bite someday. But Soviet Union and communism as we knew it at that time collapsed. Here's another one. Again, Afghanistan. This is a thank you gift from the people of Afghanistan for when American forces went in and overthrew the Taliban. Does anyone here know how many special ops it took to overthrow the Taliban on the ground? 12. There's a movie about the 12. 12 special ops on the ground with Air Force firepower from above. And they overthrew the Taliban. It's just a difference between overthrowing them and holding territory. Totally different story. But the people of Afghanistan gave this thank you gift. It's a wall tapestry. It's hanging in the Special Ops Warfare Museum at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. You see George W. Bush. He's under a very patriotic Jesus. And you'll notice that Jesus has the Sacred Heart on his chest, so you've got a Catholic version of Jesus. And when you look back at George W. Bush, there's a chart over here, and underneath of it, it said that the Afghans don't understand the idea of separation of church and state. That's why they have the president wearing papal robes. I would suggest a totally different understanding. I call that a backhanded thank you. Because in the Muslim world, when there are military forces there from any area they consider Christian, and they consider the United States Christian, they call them crusaders. And who sent out the crusaders? The Pope did.